Good. Let's get 2, Daniel. Last one. All right, let it down.
All right, you guys, we have a special guest today. Dan, what's going on, my friend?
Doing good. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good, I'm good. We've been talking about doing this video, for over a year now. So Dan's actually a really good friend of Jay's, and that's actually who introduced me to Dan, right? And then it was about a year ago.
Yep.
And then you said, you know what, I'm going to compete soon, and I would love to document the journey a little bit to see, to show, how I did it and everything. And I can't believe it took so long for us to do it. But you're here, you're just about a few days out, like 9 days out from the Steve Karr Classic. And then you're going to be doing the Mark Anthony show with Jennifer Dory's in Vegas also. So tell me a little bit about the journey. And you competed a couple times last year, right? And what made you start competing then?
So wasn't a working out and went on. I was a professional kickboxer for years. Did Muay Thai kickboxing, a lot of MMA, jiu-jitsu. So my coach always believed in strength and conditioning. So weight room was always a big thing. In 2022, talking to Jay Cutler, I decided I wanted to get on stage and compete. I actually wanted to, compete in this sport. So I asked Jay about, what would be the best gym besides like an EOS or Las Vegas Athletic Club for a serious bodybuilder. And because Jay knows I work at the Mercedes dealer, which is kind of how I met him back in '99, he recommended Powerhouse Gym, which is right down the street from our dealership. I came by here January of 2022, signed a 2-year contract with Iris, started working out here. Long story short, I met an Iranian coach here by the name of Abbas Khatami. Abbas was my coach for the first 2 shows I did last year, and then he basically moved out of town, and that left me without a coach. So right around January of this year, I decided I wanted to do this show before the end of the year. And I was talking to Iris and Hide about possibly Hide coaching me. And Hide being busy, and Iris obviously knowing Andrew and knowing how good he is with his clients, had recommended that I talk to Andrew.
Nice.
Andrew and I kind of knew each other because Andrew was my posing coach for my first 2 shows.
Okay.
So
last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. We started maybe 8 weeks out from the first show last year. Just briefly, I don't even think we talked anything diet or training at all. It was literally just posing. And then he did the shows, and he reached back out in January. Came in. I think you came in one day and saw Iris, and then we had a phone call and talked, and we had to do a little bit of work to get him in shape to start. But
so you told me off camera that you actually started dieting in February.
Yep.
And we're now November almost.
So it was kind of dieting, right? So the first part was Daniel was almost 240, but not a good 240. So we dropped 10 or 15 pounds of fat those first 2 months, kind of fed him back up, and then we started coming back down. So
wow.
We started prep probably 18, 20 weeks out.
Wow.
But it's been slow, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds a week. So it's not been too bad on him. Like, he's had a good bit of food since we started early.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had to push too hard. Maybe 2 weeks where we really had to push the food down and kind of jumpstart things and get it moving. But for the most part, he's been kind of consistent.
Yeah. Dan, you're going to be doing men's physique, right?
Yes, men's physique, masters 35, masters 40, and then open.
And eventually you might get into
Classic physique, depending if I can get my legs to grow.
Nice.
So we haven't put a lot of work in the legs, but after these shows,
it takes time. Yeah.
Yep.
It definitely takes time.
We'll see how these 2 go.
So how many years have you been training Dan now?
Well, I mean, just not seriously, like competing since January 2022.
Okay.
So about going on 3 years.
Okay.
And then bodybuilding in general since probably like 99, 2000.
Okay,
like I
nice.
said, it was always just for strength and conditioning. It was never about the physique or about being serious in the sport.
Yeah. Andrew, you actually do this full time, training people at Powerhouse?
Yep.
Yeah.
That and online, yeah. But this
Online too?
Yeah, it's mostly competitors. I have 18 people I train here in person, and 15 of them are competitors.
Oh, nice.
It's,
Wow.
It's busy. Yeah. It's busy. Trying to do between like 5 to 8 sessions a day. with
Okay.
people,
So it's like a full-time thing for you.
all the time. Like, I wake up about 4 in the morning, start checking emails then, and then
dude.
I leave here at 7 or 8 at night, and he'll tell you, he'll get messages from me sometimes 1 in the morning, and I go all in with people, so I'm not one to have 200 people online, but I might have 15 in person and 20 or 30 online, but it's all day. That's
Yeah.
all we're focusing on is working. So
That's awesome. How long have you been doing this?
So I started training people when I was 15. I'd say I started actually coaching people like competitively 12, 13 years ago. So
Wow.
I've
Okay.
been doing this now. This is my 9th year full time. Like,
Okay.
This is all I do now. So
Nice.
yeah, it's been a journey, but I love it, man. It's,
Yeah.
Wake up. I like being in the trenches with them. I know a lot of coaches like to just send the plans and
Yeah,
check and
yeah.
pose, but
You like to be hands-on.
I like to see how hard they're working, right?
Yeah.
Because it's, if you don't show them what they need to be doing sometimes, like everyone knows how to train, but how do they know where their intensity level is, where failure really is? And that's something we worked with him too at the beginning was he knew how to lift heavy to get to failure, but controlling and keeping the pace up the whole
Those are the
time,
tricks.
right? Yeah, so
The details.
yeah, for him it's been mostly just like refinement of form, the
Yeah.
basics, nothing crazy.
Yeah. Dan, what do you want to do with this?
What's that?
What do you want to do with this?
It's just
Because you have
it's
a
always-
full-time, job. Yeah, you're really busy.
A full-time job. I've never looked at this as like an income or anything. I mean, obviously the pro card would be nice. It's a nice thing to have. Is that my end goal? No. I mean, ultimately this is for health and to try and better myself. I'm 44. I'll be 45 in January. And I honestly think I'm in better shape in my 40s than I was in my 30s, my 20s.
Isn't that great?
The goal is to keep on going like that.
Yeah.
My grandpa passed out 103 years old from blood
Really?
poisoning from a bullet from World War II.
Wow.
And he used to jog every morning, and he was my idol. He used to always tell me, he's like, as long as you stay mobile, you'll live forever. The minute you stop moving is when you start dying.
Yeah.
So I started looking at older people. I see they have no muscle. I honestly believe muscle is the organ of longevity, The older we get, the more muscle we maintain,
Yeah.
the better you're going to be in life at an older age,
Yeah.
So
That's awesome.
and the vanity is part of it, but it's like, I think it's more about the health. The vanity comes with it,
That's honest.
I always tell people it's something, I don't care how much money you got and all that, it's not something you can buy. You have to
That
put
you
in the
can't.
work.
You have to work for it. That's
So.
for sure. All right, so we're gonna do another session this weekend.
Yep.
And then I would love to follow you all the way at the backstage at the show.
Yeah, I would
One of
love-
the show. That'd be
love
great.
Videoing it the whole
Yeah.
way.
All right.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you, guys. I
Thanks.
appreciate it.
There you go. Well.
All right, you guys, we're 6 days out from the first show.
Yep.
Of course, there's 2 shows. There's going to be the Steve Karr and the Mark Anthony and Jennifer Dory, High Roller. I wanted to talk about your nutrition, your diet. So when you first, you started like 20 weeks ago, you said, right?
Yeah, we started beginning of February, I believe it
We
was.
started working out together, yep.
And what kind of diet did you put him on? Was it like high carb, high fat? Like there's a
So
lot
it
of
was
different.
the first thing we did was really get his protein levels up because he wasn't eating a ton. So for him, we went more the 8 to 9 ounces per meal range to start, and that was kind of what we focused on. We didn't really change carbs that much compared to where he kind of was. So he was eating, I think last year around 300 grams, I think is what I calculated when he started.
Wow.
So we started there, upped his protein, kept his fat lower, and then for Daniel it was more just recomping, right? Because he had a tendency to come in and train and it take 2 hours to train, whereas we shifted it down to trying to get everything down in 45, 60 minutes. So just picking up that pace was enough to kind of keep the food high, but it took us a good 6 weeks for him to get used to eating more protein. So the first 3 or 4 diets I think I sent you, each time it was just
Increasing.
a half ounce of protein added per meal, just kind of slowly get the calories up, and then once we found that, it's been pretty much at the same level of protein the entire last 16 weeks, and now we're just starting to drop that part down.
How many days a week were you actually having trained?
We're doing
5 days a week?
5 days a week. Yeah, probably the last second half of the prep it was 6 days, but 1 or 2 of those wasn't quite as hard as some of the other days.
So what about on non-training days? Is the food changes at all?
So I'm more sometimes, but for me, I'm more about just consistency all week, right? We have high and low days sometimes during prep, but for me, I look at it as, okay, if we're running X, Y, Z all week long, his body is still needing that recovery, so I try and keep things pretty consistent. For me, it's more about keeping the variables the same day in and day out and making little tweaks based on the check-ins versus having a set, rest day we're gonna go low versus high. Yeah. Especially for him, because he's mobile all day, right? Yeah. So he's working all day, like he's moving, whereas some people are just sitting around. Like obviously those people, they're doing 20 minutes of cardio in the morning and doing nothing all day. They don't need 300 grams of carbs sitting there, but with him doing 20,000 steps a day, we try and keep the food pretty high all week.
So did you have him do a lot of cardio since he's walking that much?
Not much. What would we do? 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 35.
Couple times a week.
That's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
prep.
Cardio at work.
Yep.
It was like 3 days a week cardio until I think
2
10 weeks out.
3 days a week.
Yeah, 10 weeks out we started pushing it up.
Nice.
Yeah, but he's a workhorse, man. As you see video on him, he's a ton of energy. So
he's got a ton of
just fuel into that and just
train
heavy. You know,
it's 20,000 steps a day. Like I wear a Garmin, so I always track my steps, and that's just at work, you know. Yeah. Plus I'll get home, walk the dog for a half hour, you know, half a mile, whatever that is, another 6,000-7,000 steps. So.
Wow, that's awesome.
But just like he was saying, condensing the workouts, I got more of a cardio workout too, you know, especially like on back, like sweating like that, and just taking those small breaks instead of.
The first like 2 or 3 days we did back, you threw up each time, right?
Yeah.
Just from it wasn't
just from
the weight,
it was from the constant, just constantly in that burn, you know.
Yeah, your rest time is very short.
Versus like the old was more of a powerlifting type, you know, like heavy sets, 8 to 12, but then like a 2 to 3 minute break in between each one.
Yeah, right.
And that's where the 2 hours sometimes came in, you know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not working, 2 hours is fine, but you have kids and everything else, so trying to condense it, like I find that I try and make each person's plan kind of fit what their life is, right? So if, like someone like me, like I have no kids at home, I have nothing, like if I needed to take 2 hours in the gym, I could take 2 hours, but he's got 2 kids, he's in charge over where he works at, he's got a wife, you know, a million things going on, so try and condense, get more time to rest.
But honestly, if the 2 hours working out that way was going to help me more, I would still be committed to doing that, but I get more doing it the way Andrew and I've been doing it, which is literally shoulders 35 to 45 minutes, back maybe an hour and 10 minutes. You know, now that I'm doing cardio, I'm in and out of here in an hour and 45 minutes, so. And I think I've grown more off of that type of working out than taking those long breaks.
Well, your intensity is better.
Intensity is
higher.
higher.
It's not like we're just doing cardio. It's, you know, we might only do 12 to 15 sets, but some of those sets, like you're seeing stars when you get done, whereas before it was, you go heavy and then you take 2 minutes and then you kind of go heavy again. So the intensities, like actually hitting failure has been the biggest thing for you.
And then the supersets, which you're big on. I've never done a lot of supersets, but I think those you get more work done, and you stay in that burning range where you're building the muscle. You know.
That's right.
Yeah, there are some of those in there, some drop sets, but. Yeah.
All right, well Dan, good luck with the first show.
Thank you.
We're going to be there for the second show.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I'm sure it'll look even better.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is kind of like
dial it in.
It's our first show together, so see how he responds and go from there.
Cool.
Awesome. All right, thanks you guys.
Thank you, Dave.
Chest up. Don't let your shoulders take over. There you go. Do the pinky. There you go. So look, this is where you got yourself in trouble on stage last time. You pulled to try and show the judges over there, but they can see you from over there. Just stay angled like that, yep. So reset, do it again. Remember, set those obliques, squeeze down through them. There you go. Hold. Up more. There, right there. Now push back here. There we go. Good, just let this hang a little bit more. Right there. Yeah, much better. Turn your face to back. Here, remember, see me so I can see it. Lean towards me. No, just lean towards me. Lean towards me. Stand up straighter, right there. Yeah, that looks much better. Back to the front.
Chuck Douglas. In second place, number 18, Daniel Viek. And winning our Men's Physique Open Class D, number 11, Thomas Polisano. Great job, gentlemen. Your favorite front Men's Physique pose for the cameras, please. Great job, gentlemen. Congratulations. Thomas, we'll see you back for the overall. Hand over.
Daniel, we made it.
Yep.
We're backstage at the High Roller. This is your second show. You did very well. 2 classes,
Yep.
2 second place.
Yep.
How do you feel?
Feel good. Feel good. I know what improvements I got to make, and I'm going to make some adjustments and come back even stronger next one. But I love both the shows I did this year. They were really good. No stress. Everything went together. I made the improvements I needed to make.
So you're happy with the whole experience?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got my 2 first places at the car, and I got 2 seconds, and it was close today. So
Yeah.
as long as I'm getting better every time, that's what I care about.
You know, we call that the first runner-up, right?
Yeah.
It's better in second place.
Or the first loser.
Well then, congratulations. You did so good. Such a lot of hard work. And then what's next for you? Have you decided?
We're thinking nationals. So.
Oh, okay. When?
We'll set end of June. Give it
Okay.
like 6 months. Try to put on.
Are you
some
going to do
size.
another show before that, or
No, probably just go over there.
you already qualified?
Yeah.
Okay.
Last show I qualified.
Awesome.
So I'll wait. Let Coach Andrew do.
Yeah.
Do the leading, and I'll follow.
Awesome. All right, buddy. Good job.
Cool. Thanks, Dave.